There's always been a certain expectation when it comes to the UFC. Fans don't just watch the fights. They pay attention to everything around it. The promos, the storytelling, the build-up, all of it plays a role in how people connect with the fighters. And lately, one specific issue has started to get more attention than anyone probably expected: the use of AI in UFC promotional content. Over the past few months, fans began noticing subtle changes in how some promo videos were being put together. The visuals felt different. The pacing, the edits, even some of the stylistic choices didn't feel like the traditional human-crafted promos that the UFC has been known for over the years. And once people started pointing it out, the conversation quickly spread. Also, some fans didn't care at all. For them, it's simple. As long as the fights deliver, nothing else really matters. But others saw it differently. They felt like something was being lost, that the creative side of the sport, the human element behind those cinematic fight packages, was starting to get replaced. And that's when Dana White got asked about it. Now, if you know Dana, you already know how this usually goes. He's not the type to dance around a question, and he's definitely not going to sugarcoat his answer just to keep everyone happy. So when the topic of AI in UFC promos came up, his reaction was exactly what you'd expect: direct, blunt, and unapologetic.
So I've seen a lot of fans and viewers online commenting or discussing what they perceive as a lot of AI-generated content in the broadcast that maybe wasn't in previous iterations of the UFC. Is this something that's coming with the Paramount deal, or just a new direction for the UFC, or do you have any insight on that?
What does that mean?
AI stuff, commercials, part of the promotional content, just AI in the UFC in general. I've seen fans complaining about.
Oh, yeah? What are they complaining about?
I guess I've seen people saying that the UFC should be paying artists instead of using generative AI, stuff like that.
Give me a fucking break. AI is coming, and if we're using AI, who gives a shit? People are upset about it. We should use artists. How about this? Shut the fuck up and watch the fights.
When Dana responded, he didn't try to soften it or turn it into some long explanation about production strategy. He went straight to the point. From his perspective, this isn't even something worth debating. Technology evolves, tools change, and the UFC is going to use whatever helps them operate at the highest level. And that's really the core of his stance. To him, AI isn't some controversial shortcut. It's just another tool. No different than when the sport adopted new broadcast technology, new camera systems, or more advanced editing techniques over the years. The goal has always been to improve efficiency and keep the product moving forward. But here's where the disconnect happens. For a lot of fans, this isn't just about efficiency. It's about authenticity. The UFC built its reputation not just on fights, but on how those fights are presented. The iconic countdowns, the embedded episodes, the cinematic promos, those things helped create emotional investment. They made moments feel bigger than just a matchup on paper. So when people feel like that human touch is being replaced, even slightly, they notice. At the same time, the reality is, AI isn't going anywhere. Not in sports, not in media, not anywhere. Promotions across different industries are already experimenting with it, finding ways to cut costs, speed up production, and create content at scale. The UFC is just another major organization stepping into that space. And from a business standpoint, it makes sense. The UFC produces an insane amount of content. Fight promos, social media clips, event packages, sponsor integrations. It never stops. If AI can help streamline even part of that process, it's almost inevitable that it's going to be used. But what matters moving forward is balance. Because while technology can make things faster and more efficient, the connection fans feel to fighters is still built on storytelling. Real moments, real emotions, real narratives. That's something AI can assist with, but it can't fully replace. And that's why this conversation isn't going away anytime soon. On one side, you've got the business and the evolution of technology. On the other, you've got fans who care about the craft, the details, and the authenticity of how the sport is presented. Dana White has made it clear where he stands. For him, the focus is simple. Deliver great fights, keep the machine running, and don't get distracted by noise around how the content is produced. But for fans, this is one of those moments where they're starting to question how much change is too much. Because the fights may be the core of the UFC, but everything around them is what makes those moments unforgettable.